Hi guys, it's Amanda and welcome back to my channel. I feel like Radio Rebel, quite frankly, with my headphones and microphone in frame.
This is Radio Rebel live from Slam FM.
I've never worn headphones while filming, but this is the first time for everything. Anyway, today's video, therapy is the new friendship. I know this is like a broad, sweeping generalization. I try not to make those, but this had to be said. I feel like in the past couple of years, there has been this well-documented trend of therapy speak infiltrating friendships, kind of co-opting that therapized language to be like, I'm right.
To be radically honest, upon further reflection, it has come to my attention that I'm no longer able to spend time with your friend group.
I kind of mean it in that sense of like the whole therapy speak thing, but I also mean that therapy is a new friendship in the sense that adult friendships kind of resemble therapy sessions in the sense that they are built around finding a time that works for both of you, a place that works for both of you, and it's a set chunk of time. It's like from 1 to 2, and you're gonna sit there over some food or over some drinks, and you're gonna catch up on each other's lives, and you're kind of just like going back and forth relaying information. And yes, happy hour is an experience that you are both having in that moment, but the conversation is more centered around what you guys individually do, and like you're not actually engaging in each other's daily lives together. And I feel like this is just like the pattern of adult friendships. It's just like, oh my gosh, like we need to catch up, I haven't seen you in so long, and then you catch up, and then like 2 months later, oh my god, it's been forever, and then you're like, oh yeah, you went to so-and-so's wedding and you went on this trip, and oh, you got a new job. And it's kind of just like update session. It's like weekend update, except last 2 months of my life update, and nothing that interesting has happened. So yeah, I do feel like adult friendships generally like err in this pattern of just like playing catch up all the time, and you are not truly experiencing life with your friends. You're kind of just like telling your friends what happened in your life. And this was really greatly summed up in this Atlantic article by Rachel Cohen, where she sort of dissects why adult friendships lack so much spontaneity and lack so much playfulness. And obviously a huge reason of that is people live in different cities, people have greater responsibilities, people have jobs, but at the same time, there isn't a lot of a concerted effort made amongst friends to prioritize experiencing life together rather than just catching up. That's going to be the topic of today's video, but before I get into that, I would like to thank Blueland for sponsoring this video. So I've recently made the switch to Blueland products because they are an environmentally friendly but affordable way to keep my space clean. With Blueland, the only thing you need to clean your house is a nickel-sized tablet, which sounds crazy, but it's so nice because you don't have to get all those like single-use plastics and wasteful containers that usually come with traditional cleaning products. Traditional cleaners and soaps are usually $5 to $6 for a bottle, but with Blueland, a refill tablet is only $2.25, and you have a glass bottle that you can basically use for the rest of your life. Honestly, one of my favorite part about these products is actually the bottle, because they're so much more sleek and aesthetically pleasing than like traditional cleaning products that have like all these like crazy things going on the labels. And it's just like, click the link in my description to get 15% off your first Blueland cleaning kit. I promise you, you won't regret it. I feel like one of the primary differences between adult friendships and college friendships is that in college friendships, you are afforded much more time to hang out with literally no rhyme or reason or plan or destination. You kind of just like have these large swaths of uninterrupted time where you can just coexist with a person, because you can study together, or you go to the dining hall and eat together, maybe you just go to the park or the quad and sit on the grass and hang out together. And there's much less rigid schedules and responsibilities involved in that time of your life. So I feel like it's much more conducive to just hanging out. Whereas with adult friendships, I feel like a lot of it is catching up. Adult friendships, I feel like, are sort of more fit on the margins of our life because the thing that takes up the most time is obviously working. So after work and then after romantic relationships, after familial relationships, then that is where the time for friendships, I feel like, is kind of squeezed into. I feel like in the past few months, I've kind of realized that I don't really like catching up with people because I don't really like talking about myself. Upon further reflection, that was a bold statement, and if you do know me in real life, I want to learn about your life and I will tell you about my life. I just mean I don't like catch-up sessions that feel more like interviews and less like conversations. And I don't like talking about things that happened like so long ago, because to me, like, you know, if I'm catching up with a friend, they're like, oh, like, what have you been up to these past couple months? Like, I don't know. I think I'm just like the type of person who is like, oh, I mean, that's old news. That's boring. Like, why am I going to talk about a trip I went on like 2 months ago? Like, I don't really want to go into detail with it. I think this is also because I genuinely like have a bad memory of like things I did. Like, I couldn't tell you what I ate for breakfast yesterday. So like, how am I supposed to tell you what I've been up to for the past month? Like, I truly don't know. And then I'll kind of spiral because I'm like, wow, I have done nothing. I feel like in the age of social media, also catching up can feel like sort of redundant, or it's just like, oh, I saw you posted this on Instagram, tell me about that. But I'm like, I don't know, man, that's what you saw on Instagram, that's about it, that's what happened. To me, I'm like, when I've already experienced something, I'm just like, I just kind of assume it's like boring for the other person to hear me recap something. So I kind of just like try to keep it very high level. And I think also the catch-up experience can sometimes kind of feel like a game of like, well, are you progressing in life? Are you being successful? Are you doing well? Are you accomplishing things? And it sort of turns into like a highlight reel rather than a like, I don't know, an accurate picture of what my day-to-day experiences are like. I feel pressured to, you know, have to present something like, oh, I accomplished this, or I finished that, or I started this. And I don't know, I think that's just like a me problem, but I also wouldn't want any of my friends to feel like they have had to have done something noteworthy in order to share their life with me. Also, when I say I don't like the catch-up friendship sessions, I mean it in a more theoretical sense. I do really like catching up with my friends who I haven't seen in a while, and I enjoy it. However, like in theory, I just think it's like much more interesting and fun to experience life together rather than to have to like give us spark notes of your life every 2 months. I feel like I have been lucky to have the more rare experience of a friendship where I experience life with someone, and that is with my long distance friendships. Well, specifically my friendship with my friend Catherine, aka Cathrout, on YouTube. So I visited her in Seattle and I stayed with her for a week, and I really felt like that was like a dedicated experiencing life together time because we don't see each other in person that often. So it's like if I'm staying there, we are experiencing everything together. We're having breakfast together, we're having lunch together, we're having like downtime together. And I feel like that was just like a really unique experience that you don't really get with most of your friends unless you are basically traveling with them. I do think one of the cures to this catch-up-ification of friendship, though, is honestly just like being able to live close to your friends, because it's much easier to be a little bit more spontaneous and to be able to experience life together on a more regular basis, which is always really fun. In adult friendships, though, there definitely has to be a certain prioritization of playfulness and having fun, whereas like when you're a kid, that is what comes so naturally to you. But I feel like in adult friendships, we kind of forget that we can be serious and goofy, and in the words of Miss Julia Cameron, sometimes you have to get serious about play. And I mean this in the sense of like, let's really commit to the bit, like let's really do something. For example, when I went camping with Kath and some of our other friends, we literally like learned the choreography for the Say a Little Prayer dance from Glee and like fully filmed a music video. We really just like committed to the bit with that, and it was so much fun to like do that and to like keep on practicing and to be like, okay, let's do it at this angle, let's do it with this look, let's do it with like this transition. It was just like really fun to be like serious about something in a low stakes environment, and I feel like that's what the best kind of play is. Like, you're committed to it, but also it has basically no consequences. And I feel like this can even be said in like being serious about ritualizing certain things in certain hangouts, whether it's like having game nights or even being dedicated to a book club. I've been doing a book club recently, of people who I actually don't really know that well, all new people. It's been pretty cool to be in this book club because it is a difficult book club, and we are reading a very long book that is 1,200 pages, The Power Broker. I think it's kind of cool the level of commitment that people have had to this book club, because like now we're on page 900 out of 1,200, to be serious about it and to like do the readings every week and to commit to showing up. And I don't know, I feel like in that seriousness, I think it's like rewarding to be able to be like dedicated and committed to something that is for pure recreation. I do have to mention that how I joined this book club was extremely serendipitous, because I was reading The Power Broker and a third of the way through when I came across this article called Start a Club by Rebecca Jennings, and she mentioned that her difficult book club was a third of the way through The Power Broker. So I messaged her and asked her to join, and it turned out they only met 20 minutes from where I live. So I've been in the book club ever since. Even like when I go to my favorite dance class, ballet corps, Miss Angela, the teacher, will pretend to be like this really bitchy mean ballet teacher, but just for like the fun of it, because she's like, yes, like embrace the whole thing of it, dress up like a ballerina, like be serious about it. It's so low stakes, but like because it's so low stakes, it's like you might as well fully send it. I feel like there's kind of a tendency of like treating romantic partners as the people who you can like be your fully most playful, goofy self, real self with. And obviously that is great, but I feel like you shouldn't need to have that romantic pretense to like truly release your inner child. And I honestly kind of want to get better on working at that too, and kind of just work on like being my more playful, silly, goofy self in front of my friends, because I feel like it just like makes the experience of spending time together even more fun. So what I'm saying is that we need to normalize adult play dates, adult to adult play dates. Like, we need to play, we need to giggle, we need to laugh more often, we need to get serious about being goofy. Yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I would love to hear all your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.